Let me know when we live.
We live right now.
All right. Most High Christ. Hey, Shalom. The Isupk started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. I'm Priest and Officer Danyala. This is the Wednesday night law class. If anybody got any questions, type them in. If not, we're gonna move on. Any questions in the room? No questions, Astawak? All right, cool. All right. If y'all got any questions online, type them in. If not, we're just gonna move on. All right. So what everybody doing tomorrow?
I'm about to take my stimulus money and I pay my tithes.
Any parties or anything, man?
Oh
no parties. Why you do parties? I know it's New Year's, and of course, because we get new members every time, it's good to go over topics like this, especially times like this and around this time. It's good for everybody to hammer in on these topics, dealing with Esau holiday, which is it's crazy. I was talking to a brother yesterday, and I said, New Year's is in about 2-3 days, and I wouldn't be surprised if Esau tried to rush and get the stimulus money out to everybody, because he know if he gets it out to everybody before New Year's, it's gonna come right back. People want to party, they want to buy drugs, like he know they just gonna use the money to have fun. Like 600 is not enough to cover nobody rent or bills. 2,000 is. That's why they were skeptical about giving that to us. 600 is like, take this money and go to the store and get something, get whatever you want or whatnot. So it makes sense for him to do it now, because New Year's coming up, you know, and if it ain't enough to cover your rent, people just gonna be like, I might as well just go buy hoes or something, or go to this party and ball out or whatnot. They're gonna do, little things like that, which shows you, how cunning and how subtle the oppressor is. Everything he do is calculated. They talking about giving us $2,000, and then they put a block on it, and then give us an emergency. Put an emergency rush on to get everybody they goddamn stimulus money. When it's like, if they would have passed the bill for that 2,000, they wouldn't have gave us the stimulus this fast.
Hell
no. We'd have been waiting like a week or two to get that stimulus. But it's like, yo, it's 600. Yo, let's put a rush on it, give everybody money about it. Like they passed it. Once they put a block on it, they start sending out alerts and emails and breaking news. You can get your money as soon as tonight. Paper checks is going to be mailed out tomorrow. Like, they never moved that fast on anything. Like, now y'all moving this fast. That's because it's still around the holidays. People is still gonna buy things. Like, before I came here, the wine and spirits line was way around the corner. It was way around the corner. It's what, New Year's Eve? New Year's Eve is what, tomorrow? It's tomorrow night. So New Year's Eve tomorrow night. Everybody gonna get ready for today. You can imagine how that line going to look tomorrow, because they definitely gonna push out way more stimulus checks tonight. People gonna wake up like, ooh, especially them people with like 3-4 kids, and wake up with like a rack or two in their account and just be like, man, they just gonna go ball out, have fun. Damn near every job is shut down. Every job is shut down, so people ain't really got to work. People jobs ain't really open, so they got nothing to do but party. And I actually seen an alert earlier too that was saying something like, the COVID cases is spiking at an all-time high, they encourage everyone to not go out and party for New Year's, but stay at home and bring it in with your family. But it's like you saying that when clubs might not be open, but people are going to throw house parties and everything. Like, another thing too, I was looking at an Airbnb. I was just on the Airbnb, and they had put a disclaimer on there saying that around a time like this, you can't book the Airbnb for less than about 2 days or something. They want you to book it for longer. So most Airbnbs you click on tell you can't book for less than 3 days, 2-3 days. Reason being, 2-3 days around New Year's time. Reason being, they trying to stop people from getting Airbnbs to throw parties for New Year's. So they putting disclaimers on everything. Once again, New Year's is getting canceled, but of course, because Israel is a stiff-necked and hard people, they find a way to continue to, bring in the oppressor holidays and do what he like. Like, it's no coincidence that all the oppressor holidays is something that's fun. It deals with fun and joy, and he try to make it family oriented. So it's fun and it's joy, but at the same time, it's horrible. Like, it's a horrible thing. Like, I was thinking of something earlier too, right? Like for Christmas, for an example, when they say he found out if you're naughty or nice, and I was thinking, who really choose if you naughty and nice around Christmas? Like, who really choose? Somebody tell me, who really the one that determines if somebody's naughty or nice?
Good. What's up?
Nope. Like, when you understand this, you understand how evil Christmas is.
You mean in this society?
Yep.
Who decide who naughty and nice? Santa Claus?
Nope.
Like that?
Nope. If it was that easy, I wouldn't ask. It ain't Santa. Go ahead. Nope. Just think of all the stress that people go through around Christmas time, and think of why they go through that stress.
Oh, the parents do. For the kids?
Nope. It's the other way around. The kids really determine about who's naughty and nice. Think about how many kids grew to hate their father because he didn't get them a bike for Christmas. Like, I done heard so many stories of brothers who is grown and they don't have no type of relationship with their father, and then I'll be like, well, what happened? Man, he never was there for Christmas. Like, he never got me nothing for Christmas. I remember one time this brother told me, man, my pop asked me what I wanted for Christmas, and I told him, I ain't never seen him after that. He gonna try to come back around a few years later, like it was all good. Nigga, where my bike at? And I'm like, this nigga 30-something, asking his pop where his bike at that he promised him when he was 10? So now your parents is put in a situation where they gotta bust their ass, they gotta work, because they don't want you to think that they are a bad parent. So they get you what you want because you think that they nice. But not getting them what they want, they naughty. This is the type of things that the oppressor, he sets in society, push on us, because it's, for one, it's the worship of other gods. And it's really putting the kids in control, because they know in the society that we live in, there's no way a black man with 5 kids going to be able to get his kids everything that they want, which is going to ultimately result in the kid hating them. I remember around like 10 years old, I would say, we had to move off this one particular block because our house got robbed for like 3 Christmas in a row. to the point came to the conclusion, there's so many kids in here, they're gonna come rob our damn house because they know this where all the presents and stuff at. But that's the type of spirit that these holidays bring. Now, we coming into the New Year's. For one, this is not the New Year's, right? The New Year's is when? Yediah?
Around Passover in spring.
Passover in spring. What's the precept? Yediah? Who got a Bible compact dictionary? Do I?
I was gonna say, which starts the new year. I think it's in Exodus. Or could we also use for could I also use when further not for it's like when Christ was so-called born around tax season, when Romans was setting the taxes out, what Joseph was about with Mary.
Yeah, you could use that, but I would use that second or third.
Come on.
You could definitely use that. But the one in Exodus, pull the one in Exodus. I think it's, I want to say 13 and 4, maybe. It's in Exodus. It's look up the month of Abib. It says that in it, the month of Abib.
Exodus 13 and 4. But I also use Exodus 12 and 2, where it says, "This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you."
That's the one I'm looking for first. And it do it mention the month of Abib?
That's in the next chapter, 13 and 4.
All right, so the
This
first
is,
month.
Passover.
Right. All right. So yeah, read that 12. Where is it? 12 and 2?
12 and 2.
All right, Abad, get us to Abad real quick. Right here, I'm gonna have you read the definition of Abib.
Okay.
It's right under the number 13.
Okay.
All right, read 12 and 2, the one you got.
Come, guys, the book of Exodus, chapter 12 and verse 2. This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you.
The first month of the year to you. This month, read.
Come. Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, in the 10th day of this month, they shall take to them every man a lamb, according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for a house. And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor unto his house to take according to the number of souls. Every man according to eating shall make your account for the lamb. Verse 5, your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. Ye shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats, and ye shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month. And the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. And they shall take of the blood and strike it on 2 posts of the upper doorposts of the houses wherein they shall eat it.
All right. Now we can do it. This goes into the Passover, right?
Come.
Drop down to where it talks about the Passover.
Come. Verse 14, and this day shall be for you a memorial, and ye shall keep it a feast to the Lord throughout your generations. Mm-hmm. And ye will keep the feast and an ordinance forever. 7 days. Verse 11, drop down to 4. And thus ye shall eat it in your loins girded, and your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand, and ye shall eat it in haste, for it is the Lord's Passover. For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast, and against the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am the Most High. Most High Christ.
So the month of Abib, which is the month of Passover, it's the first month of the first year unto us. Give me Deuteronomy 16 and 1. Let's read that one real quick. Abahaya, read that definition for me. Okay. So the month of Abib is the first month, and it's the same month the Passover. And the Passover is in the first month, the 14th day. It's the first month of the 14th. It's the 14th day of the first month, the Passover, which in today it's April 24th, right? Which is springtime.
Right.
Read that definition about Hayah.
So God, this is the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, page 13. Abib, the pre-exilic name for the first month of the year.
Meaning Abib was the name for the first month of the year. How do you know what is the first month of the year? Because it's the same month the Passover in. Even the oppressor lets you know when the first month of the year is. That's why it's around the time when taxes ending, of course, the springtime, and of course, their so-called Passover or Easter is also in the spring. They know that the new year is in the spring, but because of the worship of false gods, you know, they tell us that the new year is in January, and then they give us a time where we can have fun and party and drink and enjoy it, to where nobody don't give a damn if it's the new year or not. But read that again.
So God, the pre-exilic name for the first month of the year.
Right, read.
After the exile, the name was changed to Nisan.
Mm-hmm.
It fell about the time of our March and early April.
See, the month of Abib is the time of March or early April. It always falls within that time. Sometimes the Passover would be in March, sometimes the Passover would be in April. Based off of the moon, we can tell what month it is. It's certain brothers. I know Juno Mayaka is real good with that. It's certain brothers in the school that is able to tell what month we in, right? So around this time, it either fall March or April, and it's called the month of Abib, which is the same month Passover in, which is the first month of the year. The first month of the year. Read Deuteronomy 16:1. This is just another precept to show you that Abib and Passover is in the same month.
Okay. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 16, and verse 1. Observe the month of Abib.
Observe the month of Abib. Month of Abib is sometimes March, sometimes April. Read.
Okay. And keep the Passover.
And keep the Passover. When you observe the month of Abib, you got to keep the Passover. Read.
Unto the Lord thy God. For in the month of Abib, the Lord thy God brought thee forth out of Egypt by night.
See, in this month of Abib, he brought us out of Egypt. So we got to keep the Passover in the month of Abib, because that's the time when he brought us out of Egypt. The first day, the first month of the 14th day of the first month of the year, the Most High brought us out of Egypt. So that's when we got to keep the Passover. So now the New Year's is what? January 1st? Mm-hmm. And it's smack dead of winter when it's cold. Sometimes snow on the ground. It's freezing. Everything dead. And it's the New Year's. Give me what is it, in Daniel, where it say he changed the times, dates and the times?
Daniel 7:25.
The water, Daniel 7:25. Give me Daniel 7:25.
Okay. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 7, and verse 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High.
He gonna speak great words against the Most High. Read.
And shall wear out the saints of the Most High.
Shall wear out the saints. What are these great words that he's speaking against the Most High? So can you hit me one more time on the strong? I got back there and some the water. What's some great words that he's speaking against the Most High? I got the vodka back there.
You want ice?
Nah, just ice and soda.
Oh, it's a lot. Great words you speak against the Most High. That, for an example, New Year's in January. He's the real Jew. Homosexuality is an alternative lifestyle.
He speak great words. He tell you that the New Year's in January. Homosexuality is a great lifestyle. He tell you that God loves everybody, and he wear out the saints. How do he wear out the saints? How do you wear out the saints? If anybody online know, y'all could type it in and let me know. How do he wear out the saints? Good day.
He wears us out each and every day.
Like, give me some wings.
Can't.
give you some other wings.
Like I said, sir, he tells us that homosexuality is an alternative lifestyle. He tells our sisters, you know what I mean, that you're the matriarch. You know, they make it okay. You know what I mean, for a woman to be over a man. They tell us that God loves everybody.
And we can't even get one day off for the Sabbath.
Right.
We got to work 5 days, sometimes 6 days a week to make ends almost meet. Like we work 5-6 days a week to live paycheck to paycheck. Like you working these 6 days so you can get yourself through this week. You ain't taking no money out of this paycheck and saving it and that. Something always gonna come up. There's so many bills out here, and something always gonna come up to where as though you're gonna look up, everything gonna be paid for, but you're gonna be broke. And you're gonna be like, damn, man, it's gonna be tiring. You're gonna have to deal with everything. You're gonna have to deal with child support. You're gonna have to deal with child care, daycare. You're gonna have to deal with all these type of things. He gonna wear us out, man.
Right.
And that's how you do it. Who is the saints? Mine just said he wear out the saints. Jediah?
Priests and the prophets and the saints.
Priests and the prophets. What's the scripture? You could do. Yeah, what's the scripture? You ain't got to read it. I mean, you could just. Where is that for the? Yeah, that's the water. For the brothers online. See, the brother said that the priests and prophets is the Israelites. About the saints is the Israelites, which is correct. Priests and prophets, the Israelites. What's the precept? I think it's in the book of Psalms.
Psalms 55. Which gather my saints together unto me that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice.
I think it's one more.
Psalms 132:9. Let thy priests be clothed with righteousness, and let the saints shout for joy.
Psalms 148:14.
Psalm 148 verse 14. He exalted the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel, a people near unto him. Praise ye the Most High.
All right, so all of them you can use as precepts for showing that the saints are the Israelites. Finish reading that scripture about.
Oh God. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 25, in the middle. And think to change times and laws.
How do he change times? Jediah?
Gregorian, I think it's called the Gregorian calendar.
Changing the times. And what's another way? What's another way that this is when you read this, right? To show who the devil is, and you running down this description, what's something else you can say that when you say it is nobody can dispute it, like it's undeniable? How do he change times? You
Talking
know,
about daylight savings.
Daylight savings time. It get dark. What? 4 o'clock now? 5 o'clock? Five, like 4 o'clock-ish, 5 o'clock-ish. Give it another 2-3 months. It's going to be getting dark at 8:30, 9 o'clock. Because he's going to push the time back, and then another few months he's going to push it an hour forward. He's the only one that got the power to do something like that on this earth.
Right.
Change the time. When the hell you changing the times for? Like, and I hate it because all I do, I definitely hate when I lose an hour of sleep. You know, it go from 1:59 a.m. When the minute pass, it goes to 1 a.m. Now I'm losing an hour of sleep. Or go from 1:59 a.m. and then it jumps to 3 a.m. Like, what is the purpose of that? You changing the times. It go from getting dark at 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock. Like, what's the purpose? There's no reasoning for that. He just do it because he can. Read on.
Of God and laws.
And he changed laws. How do he change laws?
He let homosexuals get married.
He let the homosexuals get married. Give me some more. How did he change the laws, Ibad? Let me get one. Go ahead.
It's okay to eat pork.
It's okay to eat pork. Isupk, how he changed the laws? How you saw change the laws?
He said all the law done away with, period, in the Bible.
Say all the laws done away with. He made changes, and the changes he make is always to go against the scriptures. Jedediah?
I was watching, I don't know why I watched this show. I watched it for the corruption of the Christian church. I think I told you about Greenleaf, about Brother Keith David. Man, like his son, I was watching this scene in the show, and his son, like, he was mad he couldn't preach in his father's megachurch anymore, so we go to his rival, and his rival was like, he said, "You're not coming over to my church for that white girl, is you?" He said, "It's all right, I'm still gonna hire you." I was like,
damn.
I said, "Nigga, sleeping with a white woman is a synagogue."
Right.
That's changing the law.
And that's what they do. They change laws to benefit them, and also they change laws to make, okay, when they change it, it's also on a spiritual level, because every law they change is the same laws that they had in Egypt. So more and more America changed laws to make themselves Egypt all over again, like it prophesied in Revelations. They make homosexuality legal, right? When they know it's against God. Like the same people that make homosexuality legal makes you put your hand on the Bible and swear in church. The same book that tells you homosexual should be put to death. They make you put your hand on the Bible when they make you, swear in church, or weed legal in certain states. Jedediah?
I got one more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the red was to mess around with another man in the Bible. You know what I mean? The Levitical priesthood, she was stoned.
Mm-hmm.
Now, she get half of everything you get.
She get half of everything you get. And they even got something called divorce court that they show on TV, where I finally watched it, right? And the judge The purpose of the show is you tell the judge why you want a divorce, and the judge tried to come to some conclusion on how to make it better so y'all don't get a divorce. Like divorce is going to be the last thing, right? Which sounds good. Like divorce is going to be the last thing. I'm not letting y'all get divorced. It sounds good until this brother is in here telling you he want a divorce because she just slept with 3 of his homies. Now the judge is like, well, that was last year. Could you forgive her? Could you find it in your heart to forgive her? And she say she's not going to do it again. She changed her life. Like what? Like the judge is on there pleading for all type of wickedness to keep this couple together when they shouldn't be.
Right.
They should not be together. She slept with 3 of his homies. He haven't had sex with her since because of the process of divorce. He in here trying to get a divorce, and you telling this man you not granting him a divorce. Y'all got to work it out. Like I seen the judge say, "Come back to me in 6 months and tell me how it go. If y'all ain't working nothing out in 6 months, I'm gonna give y'all the divorce." But she slept with 3 of his homies.
Right.
What in the hell I need to come back in 6 months for?
Right.
Like that's the type of stuff that they, put on TV to change the laws and everything of the Most High. The same book that they try to base their laws around, that's because they base their laws around Egypt. In Egypt, Salaki, do what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Just do what you want. There was no laws against homosexuality in Egypt. There was no laws. You could do all that. And even in Islam, when they say them Islamic countries over there killing people for being homosexual, that's just the title of the video. Like they find somebody getting stoned and they just title the video, "Woman slept with another man, husband get mad and kill her," or "Mob of people stoning person when they found out he was a homosexual." That's BS because it's homosexuals over there too. Like it's homosexuals all over the world because of the doctrine that America pushed. And if you over in your country killing people because they're homosexual, America will come in and straighten it out. Like them Muslims is just as gay as Christians. I don't give a damn what nobody said. Like at my slave, it was a full out brother, prostration mark, beard, everything. And then when he talked, you like, yo, he's gay. Like that's no doubt. Like switch, the way he talk, carry himself, such a feminine spirit, and then you come to find out it's like, yo, he is gay. And it's just like that's not a shocker. That's just what they push. Ashtawat?
If I could too, what's heavy about that is over there they act like they're following the law and they're not. You know what I'm saying? And then we come over here and the law wasn't even for them in the first place if I could. And then we come over here and you see our people, we in the city of Philadelphia where it's a very large population of black Muslims and selling drugs to each other. You always see one brother with a Muslim name murdered another brother with a Muslim name. You know what I'm saying? And over there, it's like, Muhammad was a pedophile and they pedophile. You want to talk about their sexual deeds? They over there trying to marry children.
And you know what's crazy? Philadelphia is the largest Islamic city in the world.
Right.
Well, in America.
Right.
Philadelphia has the largest population of Muslims in the world. Well, in America. There's no other city in America that has more Muslims in it than Philadelphia. But yet they selling all the drugs, they shooting everybody, they killing everybody. They doing it all. And also too, real quick, I seen a Muslim stand up 52nd Street that was selling backwoods on.
Right.
It was a Arab, it was an Ishmaelite who had to stand out in front of his store and was selling backwoods on it.
Right.
Go ahead, Ashawat.
I could too. They like.
Mm-hmm.
What I was gonna say. Oh, if I could too, like normally with us, it's like the Christian population. That's why it's so heavy that the Bible said you won't worship wood and stone. It's like in Philadelphia, it's the Muslim population that's doing all these. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, brothers murdering each other, selling drugs to each other. in and out of prisons. A lot of them learned to be Muslim in prison. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, bro, y'all not keeping the laws of God. Y'all celebrate Christmas. Y'all finna celebrate New Year's and turn up on New Year's with your garment on. You know what I'm saying? And you worshiping a false God. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot.
Yeah, no, what you're saying is definitely true, because Islam is just another form of Christianity, whether they want to accept it or not. But every holiday they prove us in a school that's saying that same correct. Islam is another form of Christianity. They prove us right every year when the holiday come around because they celebrate it too. Yadai, you had your hand up?
Yeah, I was gonna say something. The Arabs have really tricked the Arabs are they really try to trick society and make it seem like they have this high sense of morality. But when you really look at them in hindsight, you mean to tell me, the same Arabs that beat the hell out of their women for breathing while doing it in a dress, they not gay?
Right.
Come on.
Right. Mm-hmm. What y'all saying is definitely true. I mean, come on, give me Ecclesiastes 5 and 6. Because right now in 2 days, every religion under the face of the earth is going to be bringing in a New Year's. They're going to wait till it's 11:59 and do that stupid countdown. They're going to be partying, drinking, having fun. They're going to be fighting. Every year it's the same thing. And all they doing is bring it in the spirit of Janus.
Right.
They bring it in the spirit of Janus. Janus, which is where they get New Year's from, the month of January. When you look at the story, it's a whole war story of him eating his kids. One of his kids came, slit his stomach open, released his other brothers and sisters that he had eaten. He was the only one that didn't get eaten because his mom saved him. It was Zeus. He didn't get eaten because his mom saved him. Now he go to war with his father. And that's the spirit of New Year's. The spirit of New Year's is war, which is why there's so much killing on New Year's. You would think it's love and happiness, but it's the spirit of killing, because that's all that happened in Babylon, Greek, Rome, and now America is taking on a tradition, and you surprised that they killing on New Year's? I mean, you should expect it. Like, you should expect it. They taking on the spirit like they do every, so-called holiday. Who got Ecclesiastes 5 and 6? About how y'all read?
This book of Ecclesiastes 5, verse 6. Suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin.
Suffer not your mouth to cause your flesh to sin. What do that mean? How can your mouth cause your flesh to sin? Let's see if anybody online knows. If anybody online, type that in. How do you suffer? How can your mouth suffer your flesh to sin? Let's get somebody online a shot. If anybody online. Let's get them a shot first before I go to the class. I'm gonna get them like 2 minutes. If they don't type it in, just let me know. I'll just let one of y'all answer. How can your mouth suffer your flesh to sin? Mm-hmm. Anybody answer? All right. Anybody in the room? How can your mouth? Yeah.
You make an oath to the Most High God and don't complete it.
That's a good one.
Yes.
That's a good one. Okay. That's a good one, but not for this topic. Not for this. Go ahead.
You did. You sitting there, you saying to yourself, looking at another man's rib, shower, and damn man, she fine. And next thing you know, she over your crib.
I'll take yours too, because that's on the same one. You take the oath and then okay, no. Okay. I'm gonna explain why. All right. Yedias was more so on to it. Give me another reason. How can your mouth suffer your flesh to sin? Ashtawat?
I could, but praising and loving God. Like you saying Merry Christmas and you saying Happy New Year. You know what I'm saying? And being in that spirit, saying you're in the Christmas spirit. You say these things, you speak these things. Like, what you say go along with your action.
Meaning what?
Like, it's another example right about that. I just had it came in with Salati. I think it said like all sin like starting in your mind. Something like that. So it's like you say these things
All sin started with one? Is what you said?
in your mind.
Okay, no, not for this topic. All right, so you have your hand up?
I think the scripture I was talking about when Christ said, you already slept with her in your mind. You committed adultery in your mind already.
Right. All right, that's your mind, meaning how can, what did it say, your mouth, your words?
Okay. It says, suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin.
Right, suffer not your mouth, meaning you saying something that's going to cause you to sin.
Right.
Not thinking something, you saying something. I give y'all the perfect example, right? When the Christian pastor tell his congregation the laws is done away with, what do that make them do? It make them go eat pork and have sex with prostitutes because the law is done away with. Suffer not your mouth to cause your flesh to sin. So the law done away with, I know she belonged to such and such, but it's not a sin. I seen, and I went into this a few weeks ago where a sister made a post saying, Christ, me not sinning, even though Christ died for my sins, is a slap in his face. I have to sin because he died for my sins. Other words, what was him dying for? So her mouth is saying, I have to sin because Christ died for my sins. Now she's going to go and have sex with 3-4 different niggas. She's going to go smoke weed. Brothers is going to go have sex with prostitutes. The pastor is going to say, the law is done away with. T.D. Jakes said, not sinning is disrespecting Christ.
Creflo Dollar said,
That's what it was.
Satan wants you to keep the law. Christ doesn't. Christ dies so you don't have to. Satan wants you to keep the law.
That's what it was. Creflo Dollar. Me, Captain Akai, and Captain Aimad did a lecture. I think I want to say that 2016, and I had brought that out. He said, Satan wants you to keep the law. Satan wants you to keep the law. You have to not sinning is disrespecting Christ. Meaning you have to break the law in order to, like I'm paraphrasing, you have to break the law in order to show Christ you wouldn't. But when they say that, they picking what laws they want to break. They not murdering or nothing. They're not going to go rob a goddamn bank. They not doing anything that can put them in jail for life. Because going in front of a judge saying, I mean, Christ died for me to do this. The judge gonna be like, yeah, okay. Well, let's see if Christ gonna be with you these 50 years you sitting in jail.
Right.
The judge ain't trying to hear that, and they know that. So they pick and choose what laws to break. So their mouth is saying the law is done away with, which is going to make their flesh eat pork. It's going to make their flesh sleep with another man's woman. It's going to make their flesh do drugs. It's going to make their flesh worship another god.
Right.
That's what it's going to do. So read on.
Neither say thou before the angel that it was an error.
Don't say before the angel it was an error. Meaning what? What is it? What does it mean when it say, suffer not your mouth to make your flesh sin? When you sin, don't say before the angel it was an error. What does it mean when it say don't say before the angel it was an error? How can you say before an angel it was an error? All right, let's start with this. When do you say it was an error?
When you about to be judged?
Right, like after you done did it, and you out, you partying on New Year's, right? You drunk and you high, you pull your gun out and shoot somebody. Don't tell an angel it was an error. Don't wait till you do it to say it was an error. Because your mouth is saying New Year's is on January 1st, and there's nothing wrong with celebrating New Year's. Because your mouth say that, you at a party bringing in the New Year's. You partying, dancing, and having fun. How do you tell an angel it was an error?
What is that telling the angel was an error? Would it be you saying my bad, or would it be saying that maybe the Most High made a mistake?
Nah, all right. Nah, when it's saying telling the angel is actually a precept. It's actually a precept that when y'all get it, and I read the precept, that's why I'm saying telling an angel it was an error. So you high and drunk out partying, you commit a sin. When you wake up the next morning and say, damn, I made an error. At what point do you do that? When you wake up and tell an angel that you committed an error. How are you telling an angel that you made an error? Now this is after your mouth made your flesh sin.
When you get your punishment? When you smack dab in your punishment. Like if you slept with a whore and now you got syphilis, you're like, I made an error.
Okay. That's on it, but it's okay. I might have jumped a little ahead, right? Let me say this. Go ahead.
Did I have prior knowledge that I shouldn't do this? Or I just made an error and didn't know?
You had prior knowledge that you shouldn't do it. Go ahead.
Yeah, Hebrews, they said.
No. All right. The knowledge of sin. All right. Let me word it better. Let me see how I could put it better. You commit a sin. What does most people do after they do something that they know they shouldn't have done?
Like, my bad.
To who though?
Most High.
How?
By prayer.
Right, that's it. Give me Revelations 8:4. That's how you tell an angel, I made an error. You wake up, you looking at footage on the internet of you with your pants down, throwing up on yourself. You in a party, butt naked. They didn't caught you in the bathroom with somebody else's wife. They didn't egg you on to snort a line of coke off the table. They got you doing a bunch of wickedness, and you wake up the next day and say, Lord, please forgive me. I made an error. Now they praying to the Most High, but they telling it to an angel. This is how. Whoever got Revelation 8 and 4.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 8, verse 4. And the smoke of the incense, which came with the prayers of the saints, ascended up before God out of the angel's hand.
Now, the smoke of the incense, which is what? After the incense?
Oh God, which came with the prayers of the saints.
Which came with the prayers of the saints. Meaning what? The smoke, read verse 7.
Oh God, verse 7. The first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood.
Mm-hmm.
And they were cast upon the earth, and the third part of the trees were burnt up, and all the grass, and all green grass was burnt up. Verse 8. And the second angel sounded, and as it were a great mountain burning with fire, was cast into the sea, and the third part of the sea became blood. Verse 9. And
No, read verse 3. That's 8, yeah. Start from 3.
Verse
8 and
3.
3.
Oh God. Oh, sorry. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 8 and verse 3. And another angel came and stood at the altar, having a golden censer.
Now, an angel came and stood at the altar having a golden censer. What's a censer? Anybody know?
Is that
Where you put the
frankincense and myrrh?
frankincense and myrrh. That's a censer. The censer is what holds the frankincense and myrrh. You put the frankincense and myrrh in it, you burn it, and the smoke raised. Read.
Oh God. And
now this angel had a golden censer. Read.
And there were given unto him much incense.
And it was given unto him much incense. So when his censer, he was given much incense, which is the frankincense and myrrh. We know that's the Most High favorite, smell to smell. And that's the only smell that when you burn it, it reached the heavens. Read.
That he sounded, that he should offer it with prayers of all saints upon the golden altar.
Now, he got this censer, and he was given much incense to the censer, because this censer, these incense, is what's going to bring the prayers of the saints from the altar up to him. Read.
Which was before the throne.
Which was before the throne. So before his throne is going to be incense that's burning up, which is the frankincense and myrrh. And in this burning of the smoke, frankincense and myrrh, is going to be something in it. Read.
Verse 4. And the smoke of the incense, which came with the prayers of the saints.
The smoke of the incense, which came with the prayers of the saints. So meaning, as the incense burn and the smoke rise, when the smoke reached the Most High, when the smoke reached his throne, it come with the prayers of the saints. Read.
Ascended up before God out of the angel's hand.
Now, the angel was holding the censer with the incense in it, and it's burning. Now, when is it burning?
You said, what is it burning?
When is it burning? It's burning when the saints is praying, when the Israelites is praying. So when the Israelites is praying, the censer is burning. Why? Because as the smoke rise, the prayers that they saying is rising with the smoke too.
Right.
Out of the angel hand. So the angel was holding it, and he got much incense. The incense in it is burning. As the saints down here praying, is raising up to the Most High with the smoke. Read.
Okay. Verse 5. And the angel took the censer and filled it with fire of the altar and cast it into the earth. And there were voices and thunderings, and lightnings, and an earthquake.
Now, these saints was praying. The Most High heard their prayers. So he took that same censer that he had, took the prayers that reached the Most High, put them back into the censers, and threw them on earth. When he threw them on earth, the prayers got answered. Lightning, thunders, earthquakes start happening because they was praying for the destruction of this earth. He took that censer and threw it on the earth, and the earth started to get destroyed. That's how you tell an angel you made an error. When you praying, it's an angel with a censer, and the prayers is going up with the incense that the angel burned. He not trying to hear, I made an error. That's not going to reach the Most High. When you sit there and pray and say, yo, I know I did a lot of stuff, but save me out of this situation. I made an error. That's not going to reach the Most High. Precept. You die?
The Most High don't hear sinners.
The Most High don't hear sinners in the book of Proverbs and Ecclesiastes. Your prayer is not going to reach the Most High. So they said, don't even tell an angel it was an error. Why? You knew it was going to be an error. You knew what was going to happen when you go out on New Year's. How do you know? It's the same thing every year. Death, families get broken up because somebody read out there on the internet getting a train ran on her. Some brother out there killing or doing something gay. It's so many things that happens every year for you to think you going to this New Year's party is going to be something different. You know what you're getting yourself into, and you still go out there and celebrate it. Guess what? Don't tell the angel, my bad, I messed up. He's going to take your prayer as the censer burning, and the prayer's going up. He's going to take your prayer and go, that's not going to the Most High. He ain't going to never find out about that. He ain't going to never find out that you said sorry. My bad. Nah, it's too late for that. Don't say sorry now. Nope. Oh, he said sorry too. Nope. He said sorry. Your prayer is going to sit right there. And the Most High never going to know that you said sorry. And ultimately, he's going to say, yep, this the 5th New Year's he celebrated. Make somebody shoot him in the head. When he go to this party, make sure he gets shot in the head. It's that simple. He do this every year. Make sure he gets shot in the head. And the angel going to say, kind of one come. He do this every year, and he been saying sorry. Obviously, the nigga not sorry. This the 5th prayer I done took out of the goddamn smoke. This the 5th prayer I made sure didn't reach you. They gonna get into a shootout at this party. One of them bullets, it's gonna be a straight bullet that's gonna shoot him in the head. And his family's gonna be talking about how he was a good boy who never did nothing bad to anybody. You know, he was an innocent bystander that got shot. Okay, cool. Nigga was in the bathroom doing Molly, lean, weed, sleeping with brothers' ribs, recording it, punching brothers in it, doing all types of stuff. Lord is like, you know what? What's y'all report? Oh, it was a New Year's party. Where? Okay, that's the same brother from last 2 years ago that been doing evil, right? Okay, you know what? He gets shot tonight. He gonna get shot. It's that simple. He in there having a good time. Fight break out now. He shot. Hey, you had your hand up, Ashtawa?
Okay. If I could, that kind of cut, or do cut, you know what I'm saying, the spirit of our people. We tell them we should do something, and then they say, oh, we doing it for the kids. You know what I'm saying? And we doing it, just because we don't want our children to feel left out by this, that, and the third. But really, you're doing it because you want to. You know what I'm saying? With the New Year's, that's like an adult thing where, like, you want to go and have sex and be kissing the damn stranger and doing all type of wildness, bringing the New Year's.
Right.
Too. Another thing, I seen something recently, and it finally hit me how strange it was of people saying, oh, when this new year comes, I'm gonna reset my body count. And I was sitting there thinking, the sister says, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, what the hell did you do
Right.
To where you gotta reset your goddamn body. You're like, I'm a brother. I ain't gotta reset. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What was you doing?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not for you to be saying you gonna reset your body count.
Right.
Because
How much sex you had to have to just, I got to start over.
right.
It's like the third year you just started over. God damn. You know?
I had a sister on her live. She said from now on, every time, you know what I mean, I have sex, premarital sex, you were just a sin to me. You know what I mean? It doesn't really count because I'm not married. And I'm on there like, sis, sex is marriage, you're a whore. She's like, who are you? I'm like, a priest.
Right. You're a whore. And that be the thing. Like they come up with, what is it in the Apocrypha? I mean, the scripture that says a sinner making an excuse. Like that's all they do. And just like when you brought out the point of they doing it for the kids. That go back to the point that I made earlier. They doing it for the kids so the kid won't be mad at them. Like all year, the kid got no say so. The kid can't tell you they don't want to go to sleep. The kid can't tell you they want to eat snacks for breakfast. The kid can't tell you they not going to school. But when it comes to Christmas, it matters what they think. It don't matter. You just afraid of making them feel some type of way because of this society. Ashtawak.
I think I had a piece of it.
Mm-hmm.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4, verse 1. Better it is to have no children and to have virtue. For the memorial thereof is immortal, because it is known with God and with men.
Okay, not for this topic, really. Because all it really is you just taking authority over your goddamn kid.
Right.
You're not gonna get mad at me over a bike. Like, come on. I can get you a bike any day of the year. Yediah?
Ecclesiastes chapter 32 and verse 17. A sinful man will not be reproved,
Sinful man is not going to be corrected. Read.
but findeth an excuse according to his will.
He's going to find an excuse to do what he want to do. He's going to find an excuse to sin according to his will. He want to go out and party because he know he's going to have sex with like 3 different women who belong to somebody. He's going to argue you down about New Year's not being evil. He's going to argue you down about what he's doing is not bad. He's not going to be reproved. Reproved meaning corrected. You're not going to tell this sinful man, yo, you should not be doing that because the Bible says this, that, and the third. He's going to come up with a million excuses on why he should do it. When the ultimate reason is he's just a wicked ass nigga. Like that's where 98% of the battles come from. When we in the school and we battling people, 98% of the battles come from what this person saying, he don't even believe.
Right.
Like, I'll give y'all an example. Do you know, think about how many people you told sex was marriage, and then think about their reaction. They argue you down, especially to a sister whose dream goal is to be married. Her dream goal is to be married. Ever since she was a little kid, she dreamed about being married, right? You tell her sex is marriage, she disagrees. But you want to be married, right? So the guy that you having sex with, you married to. Why can't you accept that? And it's strictly because everybody think about that one person that they shouldn't have had sex with. And it's like, I can't be married to him. I can't be married to her. Nah. Man, you arguing with me about sex is marriage. You agree with marriage, though. Why you argue with me about what marriage is? You agree with it. That's just because the person you with, you can't stand and you're going to leave soon. So by me saying y'all married and got to stay together forever, you can't accept it. You're not trying to hear it. So you're going to make an excuse up. By me saying, yo, you shouldn't go to that New Year's party. You know, it's against God. It's against his laws. God don't accept it. God not with it. You can't accept that. So what happens is you make an excuse. Like, and then we see it so many times too, right? And y'all going to see it too as y'all grow in the truth, right? How many brothers is going to come in a few weeks or a month or so before New Year's or a holiday? You break down that the holiday wrong. You tell them that the holiday wrong, and then you don't see them no more. You see them about a week or two after the holiday passed. Because it's like they got to find an excuse to just do this because this is what they flesh wants. Like they flesh have to have them at this New Year's party, even though they might die. They know that they might die, but they flesh is like, you gotta go. You gotta go, you gotta go, you gotta go. So they flesh is like, yo, just go. And because their flesh is stronger than their spirit, when you tell them, yo, here's the breakdown, give them the whole breakdown, they like, nah, nope, that's not true. That's not true. You know, it's, nope, what you saying is not true. And they just come up with an excuse. Is there any more on that?
Mm-hmm. That was it, sir.
That was it. All right, get me get me Ecclesiasticus 18 and 30. That's the walk. Can you see me one more time, Baba Kashar? Ecclesiasticus 18 and 30.
No. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 18 and verse 30. Go not after thy lust, but refrain thyself from thine appetites.
Do you know how hard that is? Go not after your lust, but refrain yourself from thy appetite.
Okay.
Like, you know how hard that is, especially in today's society? Like it takes a lot for a person to know that they got a New Year's party coming up, to know that they're going to get everything that they want. And this is what people don't realize too, right? How Satan works, right? This is how Satan works. And I had this conversation with a brother not too long ago, right? When you find out the truth, Satan makes everything in your life better when you have a hard time debating on if you want to come into the truth or not. So a brother is going to be invited to a party on a yacht or in a man. He's going to be invited to this crazy party where it's going to be naked women. It's going to be all the weed you can smoke. It's going to be all the drinks you can have. It's going to be all the sex you want. You're going to be invited to that and going to have to fight that.
That's right.
You're going to have to fight that. You've never been invited to anything like that. You come in to the truth and learn about the truth of the Bible. Now you got to fight with that whore who you know is a whore, the best looking woman that ever decided to give you a shot. And you got to debate with yourself on if you should do it or not. And there's not a doubt in your mind that you know she's a whore, but you like, man, you got to fight with your flesh. Read that scripture one more time.
Okay. Go not after thy lust.
Don't go after your lust. Don't go after your lust. You know for a fact you shouldn't do this. Now out of nowhere she wants you. Don't do it, man. Read.
But refrain thyself from thine appetites.
Restrain yourself from what you got a taste for. Why? because it's lustful. It's your flesh wanting. Now you got to fight with going out to this party. Now you got to fight with. Can you imagine how many people is going to bring in tomorrow night? They're going to be, listen, when I was younger, we used to be in church from like 10 o'clock until sometimes 8 o'clock and bring in the New Year's in church. But when they 11:59, shouting and screaming and dancing, because we never know what could possibly happen once that clock hit 12 and it's a new year. That's what your flesh wants. That's what your appetite wants. Your appetite meaning you want what's good for you. You want what's good to you, what tastes good to you. That's what your appetite wants. When you're able to refrain from that, then now we talking. The hardest thing to do is to not take something that your flesh want, but you know your spirit don't need it. Like that's what makes a brother more precious than fine gold. To know I'm gonna go to class tomorrow because I'm gonna need some motivation to help me not go to that New Year's party. Class start at 7. The New Year's party is at like 8. Class ain't over till 9. If I go to class, I know I'm gonna miss the New Year's party. Let me go to class. That's you not feeding your appetite.
Right.
And that's what we all have to do. New Year's party, and you gotta give me the scripture in the New Testament where it say, even with Noah, they drank and danced and was given into marriages until the flood came.
Oh, God.
So it's like what we have to do is have to teach ourselves to not give into these things, because life is about war. And there's not a second that go by that you're not warring.
Right.
That you're not warring and you're not fighting. You know, and that's just how life goes. That's how everything goes. You want to be the champion at something, you have to fight. And even when you're the champion, you still have to fight.
Right.
You know? So, read on. Is there any more? Read on.
That was in the verse.
Read the next verse.
Oh, go. Verse 31. If thou givest thy soul the desires that please her, she will make thee a laughing stock to thy enemies.
Listen, if you give your soul with desire of her, she's going to make you a laughing stock to your enemies. One thing that I learned, right, being in this truth, there's one thing that you can't come back from, and that's being ridiculed. Can you imagine trying to battle somebody, right? As you battling them, they going like this, looking at their phone. Then they pull up a video of you at a New Year's party, throw up on yourself, you done shit at your pants, you done pissed on yourself, and you being drug out of party. Can you imagine that? Or can you imagine somebody pulling up a video of somebody else kicking in your door, kicking in the bathroom door, and you in there with a whore? What can you battle me on? As you asking me about the mark of the beast, I'm gonna be sitting there like, when it's my turn to answer, my response gonna be, why we talk about the mark of the beast when just last week on New Year's you was in the bathroom with a whore? I'm not about to go back and forth with you about no scripture when wasn't you the brother that was laid out in the street with throw up and shit on him? Everybody's gonna laugh. What? Everybody's gonna laugh. You're gonna be a laughing stock. As you trying to tell me that Adam and Eve was the first person, I'm gonna be like, hold on. Your church was on the news because they caught, 10 kids tied up in the basement. And they caught you in the bathroom with your pants down with a underage girl. The hell are you telling me about Adam and Eve for? you're going to be a laughing stock, and that's very hard to come back from. Like, that's damn near no coming back from being a goddamn laughing stock. Read that one more time.
O God, if thou givest thy soul the desires that please her, she will make thee a laughing stock to thy enemies.
What's your soul desire? You going into the bathroom with this whore. How does going to make you a laughing stock? Her husband's going to walk in on you with a camera out, record you, then beat your ass. And it's going to be online. And I'm going to be like, you want to break down on what? Okay. You asking me why we teach get a vaccine shot. If you want to, don't get one if you don't want to. Okay, cool. Let me hear your reasoning for why you disagree. Oh, you want me to explain why we would get the vaccine shot if we need it? Okay, cool. No sweat. I got you. All right, check this out. Wasn't you the brother that got his ass whipped from sleeping with the other brother's wife and he chased you out the house butt naked? I'm not about to explain to you anything about no goddamn vaccine. You was naked running up the street, getting chased out somebody's house because you was sleeping with their daughter. Now you a laughing stock. You had your hand up?
If I could, I want to say two things real quick. If I could, you know what I'm saying? I remember, I think I still was a trooper, and I knew I wasn't like allowed to argue with people in scripture, but I understood where the QBK was at versus another Israelite group.
Right.
And when I used to argue with them, I didn't have to bring the scriptures. I just had to tell them like, yo, this is what's happening, and you know better. And I would win all the time. As a trooper, I'm just like, this is what it is, and you know better. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't argue with certain things, and it'll be just like you said. You won't even have to debate going into the scriptures about it because it's like, okay, you saying this, but at the same time, this is what you really know. This is like your parallel supposedly to what we doing tells you that what you're doing that right. Like that's the
right.
arguments that I have with your brother.
Yeah, like I'm not about to go back and forth with you on the scriptures and you're a pedophile,
right?
Or you're a homosexual. Like we not about to go back and forth and have a 2-hour debate. Nah, you explain to me why you a homo, and you acting like you not.
Right.
Everybody's around is going to laugh. Like I see it happen so many times. I can't tell you how many times I was at camp, and then the brother walk up who is feminine as hell, and he is just yelling, screaming, doing the most. And then one of the captains or one of the generals grab the mic and step on the podium and say, "Aren't you a homosexual?" And they stand there like, and everybody just laugh. And they just argue a little bit, and then they ultimately just walk off. Right. It's just like, brother, why are you asking us, why don't we believe white people could be saved when you're a homosexual? What is there to talk about? Me explaining it to you is not going to do nothing for you. You just want to disagree with me. You're homosexual. You're a laughing stock. Read on.
That malign thee. Verse 32. Take not pleasure in much good cheer, neither be tied to the expense thereof.
Don't take good pleasure in much good cheer, and don't be tied to the expense thereof. Don't take pleasure in people cheering you on, egging you on to do it. It's always a bad ending to it. And some brothers know that. It's just a process of going through it, what they care about more. They care about more of drinking, smoking, sex, cocaine, fighting, and they not caring about the ending, what comes after it. And that's where they mess up at. Ashtawat?
If I could, so it say, take no, not pleasure, and much good cheer, neither be tied to the experience. That's expense thereof. Is that like being in the Christmas spirit, and that's why you do it? Being in the spirit, almost celebrating Jesus. You happy to do things that you're not supposed to do, even though it's gonna cause you to be embarrassed or cause you harm later. Like if I could, right? like I always try to like explain to our people, you know what I'm saying, or how we explain to our people in here, is we try to tell them like, look, you think you just celebrating Christmas, but what you're doing is you giving your spirit to people that hate you, and what's ended up happening on the back end is the rest of your life is messed up because you pattern your life after the things that they taught you. Like that's kind of what we teach you, and because you love Thanksgiving so much, you gonna forget about all the things that our Native American brothers went through. You know what I'm saying? Because you love Christmas so much, you gonna forget that Breonna Taylor and George Floyd and all the other people we lost this year. You know what I'm saying? Even with voting, like you didn't went and voted for somebody that hates you. You know what I'm saying? And now you got somebody that hates you in office, and now you're gonna be happy about that. But at the same time, he even hates you and is responsible for putting so many people in prison. It's like your good attachment to that feeling of, oh, I went out and voted, I did something, I got Donald Trump out of office. But at the same time, it's like really you just helped do something evil.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it said.
Right, which is the same thing, and also when it says, what's the last part? It say don't
Neither be tied to the expense thereof.
Don't be tied to the expense thereof. All of that, and the expense that come with it, like what comes with it, don't be tied to it. All that, like you out there happy that you done got through Christmas, and woof, I got them kids what they want. But guess what? You set the bar so high that next year, if you don't top this, they're going to hate you. Next year, if you don't come to this New Year's party, they're going to hate you. Like, I don't understand how could you sit in the class like this and then go out to a damn New Year's party? That's going to ruin your spirit. In fact, you're going to be the most wickedest nigga there. You're going to be the nigga that do the most there. Because you're going to stand there at first and know, damn, I shouldn't be here. I just got the breakdown on this. I done sat through 2 weeks of class that I'm going into Christmas and New Year's. And I'm here, you're going to get drunk high, to the point where you're going to do the most. And you're going to be tied to that expense. When you think about that party, they're going to think about you. And it's not going to be good. Don't be tied to that. Read on.
Verse 33. Be not made a beggar by banqueting upon borrowing.
All right, that's going into something else. Give me Ecclesiastes 14 and 5. Give me 14 and 5.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 14 and verse 5. He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good?
If he evil to himself, to whom he will be good. Hey, shalom, y'all about to sir. So, if a brother evil to himself, to whom he will be good, right? Just like I said earlier, the New Year's carry the spirit of Janus, right? And the spirit of Janus is war. Fighting, killing, all that. If he even, how can a brother be, a brother be evil to himself to whom he could be good? How can a brother be evil to himself? Ashtawat?
If I could, by being like a drug addict.
Being a drug addict. What's another one?
You sitting up there in the hospital and you know you need that COVID vaccine, but you're scared of needles.
That's perfect. You need a goddamn COVID shot and you're refusing to get it because you scared they're going to put a damn microchip in you. And what's another one? Homosexuality. Brother being a homosexual, how could it be good to anybody else? Which is why them homos be having the most evilest, wickedest spirit on them.
Right.
Like their spirit is almost, they want everybody around them to be homo.
Right.
To the point where if you disagree with the lifestyle, then that means you're gay. Which I never understood. You could disagree with being a pedophile, and that's cool. You could disagree with being a murderer, and that's cool. You can disagree with being a drug addict, and that's cool. You could disagree with being, give me some more. A thief, that's cool. An alcoholic, that's cool. You could disagree with being anything in this world, and that's cool, until you disagree with being a homosexual. And now you're only disagreeing because you're a homosexual yourself. Okay, so when you disagree with being a pedophile, are you disagreeing because you're a pedophile? You don't like pedophiles because you're a pedophile. They're gonna argue down. You don't like crack because you're a crackhead. Nobody thinks like that. But if you disagree with homosexuality, they say, oh, that's because you're a homo deep inside and you're not comfortable with your sexuality. No, I don't hang around them because their mission is to turn everyone homo, because just like they've been molested, their mission is to make everyone just like them. So if you got a party full of, somebody find me the scripture in 1 Corinthians, I believe, where it say reveling in, I think it's I know it say reveling in it, and it's it might be the same one that say the feminine should not make the kingdom of heaven. But if you had a party full of a bunch of people that's high, throwing up on themselves and is up to no good, how can you expect them to be good to you? Like, you're around a bunch of people you know that's up to no good and you just expect them to be good. Like, how does that even make sense? Like, and that's all New Year's is about. You're taking a risk to go have fun even though you might die. Even though you might die. That is the same as doing crack, even though you might die, but because of the temporary, relief it gives you, you're willing to take that over actual dying because we in hell. So you going out to a party for what, 2-3 hours to get shot afterwards? Like, watch the first 48 around this time. The first 48 around this time is mainly about New Year's parties that turn deadly. And they have marathons of solving cases that resulted from a New Year's party that turned to a deadly shooting. Because that nigga in the club that's having fun that you thought you had problems with, he's gonna dance and laugh with you for now. And 30 minutes before the club ends, he's gonna go to his car and wait outside, and he's gonna shoot the whole damn place up. Why? He do evil to himself. Why would you expect him to do good for anybody else? Which is another reason why I don't understand when they catch they so-called Israelite leaders saying things like you can marry underage girls or stealing money or being or sending out rod pictures. Why would you think that it's going to be any good coming out of them? Like, which I don't understand. It's no good that come out of these Christian church or these other so-called Israelite groups. Why are you expecting anything other than bad? Like, when these stories break of them doing things, I'll be like, man, I expect this. Like, they just proving me right by this happening. Like, it's a story break about some money being stolen, I'll be like, I was right. I knew I wasn't wrong. Like, I was not wrong. I was totally right on what I thought about them. They didn't, prove me wrong. They stealing money. I expect that from them. I expect anybody outside of here, when stories break about them, I'll be like, I'm not even shocked. I'm not even shocked. Read on.
Oh God. He shall not take pleasure in his goods. Verse 6.
Yep. He shall not take pleasure in his goods. Read on.
There is none worse than he that envieth himself. And this is the recompense of his wickedness.
There's none worse than somebody that hate their goddamn self. And you know who's at these New Year's parties? People that hate themselves. Why? Because they're willing to do anything for a good time. That's another thing. If you are with somebody that's willing to do anything for a good time, it's somebody you shouldn't be around.
Right.
This nigga willing to do a backflip off a roof. I'm at the wrong party. He in here doing anything you ask him. He hate himself. Do you know what can happen if you do what we asking you? Why are you doing it? Ah, man, this nigga hate himself. Oscar what?
Good, they be at parties playing Russian roulette.
I know a brother that died because of that. At a party, and they loaded up a revolver with 2 bullets. A revolver is 5 shots. They loaded up with 2 bullets, spun the barrel, clicked it in, and said, "I dare you." And he was like, "Okay." Put the gun in his mouth, and the first shot blew his brains out. I know a brother that died from that. That's a party you shouldn't have been at.
Right.
To know this brother gets high enough, he's going to do whatever we ask him. If I know if there is one person anywhere I go that's willing to do anything, I'm not going. What in the hell am I there for? He's willing to shoot firecrackers out his mouth for, jump off of buildings. He's willing to drink a whole bottle of Hennessy. He's willing to play Russian roulette. He's willing to do anything that put him in harm's way. He hates himself. That's why he's willing to do that. And read after he envy himself.
Okay. And this is the recompense of his wickedness.
That's the payback for his wickedness. He's there hating himself and doing that because it's payback for his wickedness. That's why. Real quick, get me. Let's pull that one, and then we can end it off with that.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 19 and verse 12. As an arrow that sticketh in a man's thigh, so is a word within a fool's belly.
Listen, just like shooting somebody with an arrow and it's sticking his thigh, it's hard to get out. That's the same thing as the word that's in a fool's belly. Meaning this fool is going to believe what he wants no matter what. He's going to believe whatever makes him feel good. It's in his belly. So he's satisfied. So whatever he believes, that's what he's going to go with because it makes him feel good. It's the same as somebody getting shot with an arrow in their thigh. It's like, man, how the hell am I going to get this out? That's going to affect how you walk. You get hit with an arrow in your thigh. It's going to affect you the rest of your life. It's the same way with a fool that got his mind made up, which is dangerous. Read.
Okay. Verse 13. Admonish a friend. It may be he have not done it. And if he have done it, that he do it no more.
Right. Which is going into something else, but to go into the first point, right? You go to these New Year's parties and you act shocked when the murder rate skyrocket January 2nd. January 2nd, you look at the murder rate, you like, damn, how we jumped 50 homicides already? Because it was New Year's yesterday. It was New Year's Eve 2 days ago. Don't you expect the murder rate to jump? You follow after these traditions that America set for you because that's just the oppressor way of keeping you satisfied as long as he can, because he know his time is short, and he know the more you fall into his hands, the more time he got. But what he failed to realize is he don't have that much time, because ever since the Most High, brought the Isupk in this world, you can try whatever you want. It's not going to work. Since this pandemic, and I was saying this to myself, Yedaya know too. Last year for the Passover, we had to get all the troopers and officers of 50, right? The troopers and officers of 50s, and we was putting together something that was going to help, that they was going to help us with the Passover. We had a total of 120 men. That was just troopers and officers of 50. and that was last year. I'm almost like anxious to hit up every city to get the new troopers and officers of 50s because I know that number is far more. I know we passed 120 because this pandemic then brought so many brothers into this troop. Because no matter what Esau think he could do, shut down brothers' jobs and shut down their businesses, and brothers remember what they heard from the Isupk. They like, these brothers said they can help us and they for the black community. Let me see if they about what they talking about. And then they come and see what we about, what we talk about. Man, we got to be up to at least 200, 250. And that's not even in, okay, and that's in, like, because most of the new troopers and officers are now, what, 500s and 1,000s, which means we got to get a whole new list. And I know we passed that number. I know we passed that number by far. We passed that number by far. And that's because no matter whatever the oppressor think he can do, just like in Egypt, Pharaoh thought by getting rid of all the boys was going to stop us from growing, but we found a way to grow and multiply. And now we here. You know, this truth once started out with 7 men. And now look, it's, thousands maybe? We up in the thousands, and we keep growing by the day. Can I get a time check, Isupk?
Time check 903.
All right, Most High Christ. All right, so is there any questions? Any questions in the room? Is there any questions online?
No, sir.
No questions online? All right, so with that, pass the class over to Priest and Officer Isupk.
I was told to remind you of send the prayers up for the brother.
Right.
These are the Isupk security announcements. We are the Isupk started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. Rule for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves with the world. If they need transportation and teachable arrangement, after 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is the commandment, can be found in the book of Numbers, chapter 18 and verse 21, and Malachi, chapter 3, verses 8 through 10, means 10th in Hebrew, or ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department. Priest one, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. The next one is Purim, which is the 14th day and the 15th day of the 12th month. So it's Thursday, February the 25th, and Friday the 26th. This year coming up, you can find in the book of Esther, chapter 9, 20 through 31. Remind Akim and Akwap to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If any brother or sister wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black boots, shirt, headband, and scarf. We just gonna do the prayers right now?
Yeah. Let's do the prayers.
Admata, which means to stand. Turn it face to east.
Right here. Oh, you got them right there?
That's it.
That's it?
Which one we doing? Which prayer? Prayer message.
The prayer to bless Israel. Oh, here we go. The prayer to bless, the prayer to bless Israel. We're going to send up these prayers for, do you know the proper name? I think it's Salaki. I want to get the brother name correct. I know it's for Captain Tawar and his family. Send up the prayers for them. And also Nasha Ya'ala. We're going to send up the prayer for the brother. The prayer to bless Israel. Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Bahashem,
Bahashem,
Yahweh Shah,
Yahweh Shah,
Barak Lanawa,
Barak Lanawa,
Wayasha Allah,
Wayasha Allah,
Wahabaya,
Wahabaya,
Sapari,
Sapari,
Barak,
Barak,
Bahashem,
Bahashem,
Yahweh Shah,
Yahweh Shah,
the Wada,
the Water,
Aman.
Amen. This is the prayer in the Hebrew. What we just said was, Lord, in the name of Yahweh Shah,
In the name of Yahweh Shah,
bless us,
and
Israel,
and Israel,
and the school.
and the school.
In the name of Yahweh Shah,
In the name of Yahweh Shah,
thank you,
thank you.
so be it.
So be it.
Sorry, which means the turn. We're going to give one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Imam Shabbat, Imajah, Barak,
Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah, Barak Thumb.
Yajimata, hands down, turn and face the sisters. Sorry, turn and face the sisters. We're going to give the sisters one courtesy salute. Imam Shabbat for the sisters is a 45-degree angle with your right hand over your left hand, with your head covered, your feet at a 45-degree angle. We're gonna salute the sisters of Men of Israel, Imam Shabbat, Majah, Barak,
Yahweh Shemar, Allah Thumb, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah.
Yazmata. Class dismissed.